Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Vaughn, and in today's video I finally have my skin update for you guys. When I started this journey around April this year, I really had hoped to be a bit more frequent with the updates, but you know, life and laziness. If you have no idea what I'm talking about with regards to my skin journey, I've linked the two previous videos in my description box below, so you can go ahead and have a look at that before this video if you want to, or after, you know, whichever one floats your boat. But for right now, let's just get straight into the video. For those of you who are new though, let's just give a quick rundown. I pretty much had clear skin, I would say, up till sometime late last year when something just went downhill and my skin got back really acneic, and I was really trying to do what I did before to get control of my skin, to clear it up on my own, but what I was doing just really was not working, and the acne was just a lot. It was honestly way more than I'd ever experienced, and I just wasn't really happy with it. So I eventually went to a dermatologist. Again, earlier this year, it was around April, is when I went to the dermatologist. So I was put on a routine which was fairly simple to get into, because honestly, my morning routine is really just 3 steps, and then my night routine would be between 3 to 4 steps, so it really wasn't that difficult to get into the routine. So let's just do a quick recap of the products I was using. So morning and night, the first step was using a cleanser, and I was using the EltaMD Foaming Facial Cleanser. The next step is a Brite Skin Pad, both morning and night time. The active ingredient in the Brite Skin Pad is hydroquinone, so that's like basically a bleaching agent, a skin lightening agent. In the morning, the last step would just be to apply sunscreen. Once a day, every other day or so, 3 times for the week, I was using an antioxidant infused skin polish, which is basically just an exfoliator that also had a few active ingredients in it. The last step at nighttime was using the Tretinoin 0.05%. So that was my routine when I just started everything. My last video regarding my skin was a 2-week update, so I went into how everything was going for me for the first 2 weeks, so you could watch that video. Like I said, you guys could watch that video for a bit more info on how I felt at the time about those products. Regarding the Brite Skin Patch, which as I said has an active ingredient of hydroquinone in it, I was initially started on a 6% strength, and throughout the time between April to now, I was increased to 8% strength and then brought back down to 4%. So with regards to the tretinoin, which is another active ingredient, that is a retinoid, a vitamin A derivative, so that is also beneficial when it comes to treating acne. I was initially started on the 0.05%, and then I was increased to the 0.1%, so that's of course stronger. Yeah, so as I continued to use the products, my skin definitely got used to it. In the last video I did mention something about like a purging period with regards to using the tretinoin. Initially my skin did have like this rosy glow, which is basically just erythema, or just redness of the skin. That eventually went away. It's definitely not a complaint that I have now. The peeling it's not something that is constant. Even with the switch from the 0.05% to the 0.1%, I did have a little bit of peeling at that time, but it definitely wasn't nearly as much as the first set of peeling that I had when I actually first started using the tretinoin. I do have the occasional peel, but it'll be something small like this, something that it just really doesn't bother me. It does not bother me. Now, with all that being said, I definitely do think my skin has progressed very well. There was a point in time that I did feel like I was looking like I was bleaching. I blamed that on the hydroquinone pads, the Brite Skin pads, but it was necessary in, you know, trying to get rid of the dark spots that I did have. So, I mean, I understand the point, of course, but eventually, as you can tell, I mean, I don't think I look like I'm bleaching. I think I look very, you know, melanated. You know, thinking about it, I was really glad that that happened during quarantine, when for the most part I was home, and then even when I did go out, half of my face was covered with a mask, so it really, like, you couldn't really notice it that much if you saw me in public. But even some of my videos that I have up here during that time, you can definitely tell you could be like, she looks like she's bleaching. I'm just really glad that it doesn't look like I'm bleaching anymore, and it just looks brown instead of like a yellowish tone. It looks brown, and so I'm really happy for that now. There's a definite control of my acne at this point. I mean, I still do get like small ones sometimes. I rarely get any like big deep hurting bumps. I mean, I still do. I'm not immune to it, but it's definitely not even half as bad, not even quarter as bad as what it used to be. It is definitely way less. I don't think I've really found like a trend with regards to when it comes on, like if I could really base it on, you know, my menstrual cycle or whatever. But like I said, it's still definitely way less than what I was going through earlier on this year and late last year. I also had quite a few blackheads in the beginning of this process, and honestly at this point I really don't have that many blackheads, or any at all, I would say. You know how you could squeeze your nose and a lot of like the white stuff will come out? I don't even have that. Like, so I honestly feel like if my skin has, you know, responded well to the treatment and continues to do well, it just feels really cleared out. So regards to like the texture, my skin texture, it's definitely like really smooth. Like I mean, I probably shouldn't be touching my face, but I just sometimes, like when I'm washing my face, it's just like, wow, this is my skin. Like, this is my skin. And then like when I put on makeup also, it just goes on so smoothly. It's just like, wow, this is my skin. Like, I'm happy. This is great. I also previously mentioned that I had a very difficult time when it comes to like stopping picking and like not picking on pimples. And so I realized that all I have to do really is stay away from the mirror. So if you have an issue with regards to picking on your skin, do your skincare further away from the mirror so that you cannot really see your skin, especially see it up close. Because that's something I realized, like if I see my skin up close and I see something, oh, this may be like a little bump, oh, this might be a blackhead, then I'm probably gonna go in and squeeze it. Now that I do most of my skincare like standing up and away from the mirror, I barely like go into the mirror like this. Like, I don't see anything to squeeze it. And there was of course the occasional time where I'd be sitting at my desk, the mirror's right there, and I'm just looking at my skin, admiring it, and then I see something and just like, you know. And even up to now, like, I still have that. It's still a slight issue, but I mean, not to brag or anything, but the fact that there barely is anything to squeeze really does help the fact that I'm not squeezing anything. Like, how could you squeeze something that's not there? You know, that sounds really like not humble, but I didn't get here on my own. You know, the products that I'm using is what got me to this point. So that is pretty much, you know, the progress of my skin. The visit before the last was the 7th of September, at which point, I mean, I'd been doing the same routine for basically from April to September. The only thing that really might have changed was the change in the hydroquinone percentage, as well as how many times I was using it. Because when I did speak to my dermatologist about the fact that I felt, you know, that I was looking like I was bleaching, she did tell me that I could decrease the usage. So instead of using it twice a day, I just went down to once a day. At that visit, she increased me to the 0.1% of the tretinoin, as well as I was really just missing like having multiple steps in my skincare routine. I'm not gonna lie, having a few steps really does make it easier to do and stay consistent with, but I really just was missing like the steps. So at that visit, I did ask about the vitamin C. So I started using the Vitamin C Skin Brightener. So my routine did change from September, where I was now doing cleanser, vitamin C, and SPF in the morning, and then the same cleanser, exfoliating polish, hydroquinone pad, and tretinoin in the nighttime. Also at that time, they actually ran out of the EltaMD facial wash, so I started using the Antioxidant Infused Foamy cleanser from her brand Retouched. So quick review, even though it says foamy, it's really not that foamy, especially in comparison to the EltaMD foaming facial cleanser. Also, it stings, it like burns your eyes. The EltaMD, honestly, is so gentle. I could probably purposely put that in my eye and it still wouldn't burn, whereas the Antioxidant Infused Foamy cleanser, like if the littlest bit could get into your eye and it could burn, like it could get into your nose, it could burn, like anywhere it goes, it burns. And when I had initially started using it, it did feel like if it was a bit like strong. I wouldn't say it necessarily dried out my skin, but it definitely did make my skin feel a little bit drier. but not like dry, but like a little dry. So when I compare the two, I would definitely choose the EltaMD over this one. Also, at that last visit in September, she decided to put me on the polish every day. So from then on, I was gonna be exfoliating my skin every day. I did feel, however, that kind of made my skin a little bit more sensitive. Like I'd have tingling and slight burning, especially around my mouth area. So I just personally felt like exfoliating every day was a lot, especially since I'm still going to be using the tretinoin every day. I also kind of fell off of the hydroquinone pads because I honestly felt like if I didn't really need a bleaching pad for the state that my skin was in with regards to like the hyperpigmentation or lack thereof at this point. I really didn't think it was that necessary. So I kind of did fall off and I would use it less frequently than I should. So yeah, so it's been 3 months since that September visit, and I did have a very recent visit in November where everything has pretty much now continue to be the same thing. Cleanser, vitamin C SPF in the morning, cleanser, exfoliator, hydroquinone pads, and tretinoin in the night times. There was one thing I noticed though, and well, my dermatologist noticed it as well, is that at this last visit in November compared to the pictures taken at September, my face actually got back darker. Like you could definitely tell the difference. I don't know if you guys could tell it in this picture here. And I was just like, I didn't really notice that. This is what my skin looks like right now. Do I have any issues with my skin right now? Like I said, no. I mean, I'm not immune to acne at this point, so I would still get a few bumps here and there. Still nothing much that I would really waste my energy to complain about. As you can see here, I do have a bit of peeling. So even though I've gotten accustomed to the tretinoin, I still do have like random spurts of peeling. It's really not like a lot, not my whole face. It's usually just somewhere down here, if we're being honest. So like here you can see that I do have a bit of peeling. With regards to the overall my skin complexion, evenness of my skin tone, for the longest while I've had like this patch of, like, I'm pretty sure you can see it because I can see it, this patch here, and a matching one on this side, like forever. Like it's just always been there, so I don't really know why that is a thing. This is where I had my most recent like bump, then I squeezed it, whatever was in it came out of it, so it's healing up. I really don't have any complaints. I'm really happy that I did embark on this dermatologist journey. There's been no microdermabrasion, there's been no like facials, there hasn't been anything like that. Just literally product based and consistency. And anytime somebody compliments me on my skin right now, I'm just like, with all this money I spent, I'm taking it. Give me all the compliments. The only thing though is that I still would like to, you know, try other skincare. Like the other day I went into Belarus and they have so many options of skincare now, and it's just like I can't buy any of it because I'm scared to really branch out or use anything else for fear of, you know, ruining my progress. But I also don't really want to be using these products for the rest of my life. I will probably have to check in and bring up those questions at my next visit, which is in the next 3 months. But all in all, like I said, I am very satisfied with where my skin has gotten at this point in time. Throughout the video I would have been showing you guys comparisons, you know, of my skin, where it was, where it came from to where it is now. And I mean, I'm not too sure if there would be much of an update because like I said, I am very happy with what's been going on. We haven't done anything really new. It's just the same products, just maybe different strengths and different frequency. So that is it for my skin update video. If you were waiting for it, then here it is. Glad that you tuned in today. If you've been struggling with your skin and you've been trying on your own to get it under control and it really hasn't been working out for you, then I'll definitely recommend that you try putting it in the hands of a professional. You know, sometimes we really try to fight down ourselves and feel like, well, I could do this on my own, and sometimes it does work. It worked with me before, but then sometimes, you know, it doesn't. And so instead of wasting money on trying new products, probably it will just be better for you to, you know, invest that money into seeing a professional and try to get a routine that would actually be beneficial to you and help you improve on your skin concerns. So that's just my 2 cents for today. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you liked the video, thumbs up. Comment down below if you've been struggling with your skin, what you've done to help yourself. Maybe you're like me and you were trying and it wasn't working, so you went by a dermatologist. I don't know. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out the other 2 skin related videos if you haven't. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. These are all the products that I've used since starting my regimen. I've used 2 of the Elta face washes. The last face wash that I got in September, it's pretty much almost done. I'm interchanging this with another one of the EltaMD at this point. The Brite skin pads, I've used 3 of them. A 6%, 4% and an 8%, and right now I'm on another 4%. That one is in the fridge. This is probably the longest lasting one that I had. This is the Infused polish. This one finally finished probably like a month ago or so. So I did get a new one and I'm using that right now. And with regards to the Tretinoin, this is too expensive for me not to use as much of it as possible. I scraped it till the end. So I've used one 0.05% and I've used 1.1%, and I'm currently on another 0.1%. I'm really not gonna lie, the products are expensive, but they are giving me the results that I want, so I'm probably gonna continue to spend it, or hopefully sometime in the near future, I'll find some alternatives to spend less money but also keep the progress going.